Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And for a few minutes, I want to talk a little bit about the LSU Tigers. Now, on this edition, I just want to flip the script a little bit. I know this is the State of the Saints podcast. We focus on the Saints, but if you're from the state of Louisiana, you understand that these teams, the LSU Tigers and the New Orleans Saints, are kind of intertwined. And we feel the same way about each one of these teams. The passion runs deep. So I got to talk about the national championship game, give my final thoughts on what I thought about this game. First off, I want to say congratulations to the LSU Tigers, Coach Ed Orgeron, man, just that whole entire team. You got to give props to Ed Orgeron, a guy who a lot of people laughed at, made fun of, because of his dialect, his Creole dialect, and, they didn't really want to give him a chance. He started off as an interim coach at LSU. I think he went like 6-2 or something like that after Les Miles was fired. And they decided to make him the full-time head coach. And, he was mediocre pretty much everywhere that he went. But in the process, he learned how to be a coach. He learned how to be a facilitator. He learns how to allow his coaches to do their jobs, and he just, oversee everything. You got to give props to the LSU Tigers for going out, getting Joe Brady from the New Orleans Saints, a guy who worked with Sean Payton, Pete Carmichael, the offensive team, and he brought that offense to the LSU Tigers. And honestly, the rest is history. This was an unbelievable season by the LSU Tigers, man. Like, watching these guys go out there week after week, put up points, and just see them as an extension of the New Orleans Saints, man, just running some of the same plays you'll see the Saints run on Sunday, run it with tempo and efficiency. What more can you say? Joe Burrow brought a lot of pride to the state of Louisiana. It was a true underdog story, and I think it kind of fits into the state of Louisiana. Louisiana is kind of like an underdog story. Everybody kind of wrote Louisiana off after Katrina back in 2005, thought that Louisiana will never be the same, but it came back better than ever. And that's the same way with Joe Burrow. They wrote him off. He wanted to go to Nebraska. He ended up going to Ohio State, never could get on the field, leaves there, goes to LSU, and the next thing you know, he's winning a Heisman Trophy and threw for more touchdowns than any other quarterback in a season. He had 65 total touchdowns all season. That's like playing Madden on rookie or something like that. That's just unbelievable stats that this young man has put up. You can see the passion in his eyes. You can see the want to. You can see the fact that, he has something to prove. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. He wants to show everybody, Ohio State, Nebraska, that y'all made a mistake, and I'm about to prove it to you every time he goes out there. And, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, playing with a little bit of a tweaked hamstring, going out there, breaking tackles. Unbelievable kid. Reminds me a lot of Darren Sproles. And what can you say about these wide receivers, man? My goodness. Jamar Chase was out there working Terrell, man. Was out there working that young man. He was the number one corner. He made that guy look like he was Jason David or Brandon Browner or something like that. Just unbelievable talent, man. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Then you got Travis Marshall Jr. All this talent around Joe Burrow. And then you also have Thaddeus Moss, the son of Randy Moss. This was a good game, man. It really was a good game. The LSU Tiger defense really stepped up. They showed that they are the true DBU. Man, you got that freshman out there, Stingler, he's out there locking people up. Queen played a really good game, the safety. Delpit, he was out there playing really good, forced a fumble at the very end. You got to give credit to Clemson, a team that a lot of people didn't expect to be in that position. People wrote them all, said that their schedule was easy. They go to the national championship game, could possibly become a dynasty. They didn't get it done, unfortunately, but they got a lot of talent on that team, man. Travis Etienne, you got Trevor Lawrence, you got Justin Ross, you got Higgins out there. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of guys that you can build off of. So the only thing that kind of stood out in this game to me when it comes to Clemson was the inaccuracy of Trevor Lawrence. Now, I know people are saying this guy's a sure thing, and he probably the most sure thing since Andrew Luck came into the league in 2012. But he struggled with accuracy all day. Yeah, he got the arm strength. Yeah, he got the power. but he was missing some wide open guys, man, and he couldn't throw the ball through those tight windows. I wasn't seeing what a lot of people was talking about, but I did see a real good pinpoint accuracy from Joe Burrow, throwing those back shoulder throws, throwing his guys open. I mean, he was out there wheeling and dealing. I feel like Trevor Lawrence is probably a good thing that he has one more year before he become eligible for the draft. It's probably a good thing because he has to work on his accuracy, man. I mean, he was out there. He was not on point. And I don't know if it was because of the pressure that was in his face and or it was just the fact that he was just a little bit off or he was trying to do a little bit too much. But the LSU Tigers definitely kept him in check. He did not throw one single touchdown in his game. The DBs locked up the wide receivers, and that's saying a lot because, man, Clemson wide receivers are special. And for them to get locked up on an island, man, and couldn't do much of anything in this game, that says a lot. The LSU Tigers, man, they're the national champions. First time since I think like 2011 or something like that. So congratulations to them. Was a great season, a wonderful ride. And, way to bring pride back to Louisiana. You know, a lot of people in Louisiana was down, especially after the Saints went 13-3 and laid an egg in the wild card round of the playoffs. I mean, they just brought pride back to the state of Louisiana. And I know as a New Orleanian and a Louisiana native, I know for a fact how much pride that everybody has in the LSU Tigers, man. And I know a lot of people feeling the pride of them winning that national championship game. So once again, congratulations to Coach Ed Orgeron, and Joe Burrow and the whole entire LSU Tiger team. And Ed Orgeron, he always in his statements would go Tigers. He'd be like, hey, yeah, we gotta play a good game. Go Tigers. So shouts out to him, man. He has a lot of pride. He loves LSU, and I think we all love LSU as well, especially if you're from the state of Louisiana. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search State of the Saints podcast. Also, facebook.com, search State of the Saints podcast. On Twitter at SOTS Podcast 8. And also on Instagram, you can follow me at TJAY Jones _. TJAY Jones _. Till next time, all I got to say is, go Tigers. Who that?